In this episode, Spaz Family Circus and how you can get composing work. Don't know anyone in the industry? Steven Spielberg not returning your calls? No problem. Here's the story of creating my own projects and how that led to Spaz Family Circus and other projects. Because there are projects all around you, you just have to know where to look. Spaz Family Circus is an animated series created by Zurgog Tovar. It isn't well known, it wasn't a commercial success, but it shows that there are opportunities for you to compose, learn, and even make a little money. First, some history. Some years ago, I wanted to create some indie film shorts. I had written many screenplay features, and I decided to try writing a trilogy of indie film shorts. Shorts are often around 8 to 10 minutes in length, and my plan was to eventually edit them into a 30-minute longer short, as they were all related. I wrote them, produced them, composed the music, and directed them. As is the case with indie film, you wear a lot of hats. I also wore the first AC hat, the catering truck hat, etc., etc. Zurgog was one of several local actors that I found through SF Casting, which is a local org in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you've watched my video on songwriting orgs, it's very similar. It's just filmmaking instead of songwriting, and it's a lot easier to get work. There are orgs like this all over the country. On SF Casting, you can find all the talent you would need to make an indie short or an indie feature. And don't think because it's not Hollywood, the folks don't have chops. They do. Many of them are excellent. Moreover, most of these folks do it for real and food. REEL, which means you feed them and you give them copies of their work from your project. They can then add that video to their demo reels and shop it to bigger productions, perhaps getting a SAG card and making a few bucks in the process. You could be the person responsible for getting them discovered. Not likely, but possible. Making 2 of the 3 shorts in my trilogy, I met some talented people. I was even recommended to a director and got a job as the composer on another production. But that's a different story. It was probably 6 or more years ago when Zurgog called me on the phone. He said he was working on a project and wanted to meet with me to see if I'd be interested in working with him. We set up a time, he came by my house. I don't think he had me sign an NDA, that's a non-disclosure agreement. But I don't remember. I did check with him about discussing this today. He brought his lead animator with him. I believe they had some storyboards, and I know they had a script for the first episode. I read the script on the spot, and he asked me if I'd be interested in writing the theme tune. I said sure. He said he'd pay me whatever I thought was reasonable, and if memory serves me correctly, I think he said something like $1,000. I told him that it wasn't necessary that he pay me because I thought it was the least I could do, since he helped me on my indie films. It's not always about the money. I believe there was a little bit of a rush for me to put something together quickly so they could release the first episode. I fired up the romantic comedy orchestra patch on my Chord Chronos, and I quickly came up with this basic frame. A frame is an idea that I will eventually orchestrate. Yeah, I put a dog bark in there too. I'm going to play you the final version in a moment, but I think there's a good learning opportunity here. It's important to write for the grandeur of the picture your music will accompany. Spaz Family Circus is indie film animation. From what I know, it was produced on a micro budget. I could have used one of my symphonic orchestral libraries and some percussion from Damage, but the music would have outscaled the picture. This information is not just important for composers, it's also important for indie film short directors and producers who purchase canned music to use in their productions. Canned music can be used tastefully and appropriately, but some shorts use music that would be appropriate for the final battle scene in Avengers Endgame for a scene with 2 teens on their first date at a burger restaurant. It's possible for the intent to be playing against type, but I think often it's just that the director likes the music and they think it will make the scene bigger. Another potential issue is that you could go to a competition for indie film shorts and hear the same piece of music in several different films. To me, that's something to be avoided at all cost. An important aspect of what we do, film with score or just score, is that it's supposed to be creative and unique. So if you're a producer or a director of a local indie production, like a short, consider getting a local composer to write music that no one else has. It often doesn't cost that much. It may even be less expensive than canned music. Getting back to Spaz Family Circus, I wrote 3 versions of the main theme: an instrumental, a very lightly orchestrated version with lyrics, and an up-tempo version with some percussion and a few more instruments. Obviously, if this had been a big production on TV like The Simpsons, I would have needed something bigger, but I believe what I did fits the scale of the production and the opening credit visuals. Zergog used the lightly orchestrated version with vocals for the opening credits. Here it is.
Spaz and best friend Scooty are gonna be unruly. Mom and Dad are clueless on their own. Little sister Lena, she's such an evil schemer. This is what they call the family home. Spaz Family Circus are gonna raise our rockets, gonna make you love what they don't got. Without a lot of luck and praying, there ain't no doubt in saying a model American family they are not.
He used the instrumental-only version for the closing credits, and I don't think you need to hear that again since you've heard the one with lyrics. I was hoping that he might have used the up-tempo version for the closing credits, but he's the director, it's his vision of the series. And there you have it. If you're looking for work as a composer and you're willing to work at a reasonable price or for free, you may be able to find work locally and build up a resume. Try searching for orgs similar to SF Casting in your area, and check out local community colleges if they have a film department. They are another source for work. Go put up an ad on their bulletin boards. If you're interested in seeing the animation, you can search for Spaz Family Circus on YouTube. Just remember, it was done on couch cushion money. Hopefully I haven't wasted your time. Take care, and I'll be back in another video soon.
Play my song, dude!
Are you sure?
Yeah!
Okay. A 1, 2, 3, 4.